I spent the last 2 years of my life sending over 6.5 million cold emails for over 100 different companies. And if you can imagine, there's a lot of issues and troubleshooting that goes on with this type of operation. So I've been dealing with blacklists, with spam filters, with email account restrictions, and basically every other obstacle that you can think of. And obviously, eventually, we figured out a really good system that is not only scalable, but also bulletproof. So we don't have to be switching it up every month or two to a new system. So in the next 12 minutes, I'm going to condense all of that knowledge that I came up with over the past 2 years of executing upon this and basically give it to you for completely free on a nice silver platter. And the thing is, like, if you look at email infrastructure on YouTube, the videos are made by the email service provider or by the email account reseller. So they obviously are biased. And the good news is that this video is not sponsored by anyone. It's not affiliated with anyone. I don't get commission or referrals for anything. This is just straight up of what I do for my agency for over 100 clients. Last year, our clients signed over 150 verified high ticket paying clients using this exact same infrastructure, right? So obviously before there was a lot of trial and error, but now we have a tested system that we just go to time and time again. And we know for a fact it's going to work. We know for a fact we're not going into spam. And we know that if we want to send this many emails, this is what we have to do. This is how we set it up. And it's a very clear process. So like I said, no sponsors, no nothing. This is just straight what I do for the clients that pay us thousands of dollars a month to have premium cold email deliverability and services. So what that means for you in specific is that by the end of this video, you'll have everything that you need to know in order to send 20,000, 50,000, 200,000 emails a month, every single month, like a pro, without any issues of going to the spam folder, domain blacklisted, or anything like that. So without any further ado, let's get right into the video. So the first thing you need to focus on is how you're actually going to like logistically set it up and which way it's going to be structured. So one of the main things is never using your main domain for your cold email outreach, right? This is going to burn your domain, and you probably aren't doing this, but if you are, make sure that you aren't, because you need your primary domain that you use day to day to always go into the master inbox. So that's why you're going to set up secondary domains that are very similar to your primary domain and have them forward to your primary domain. So even when you have 100 secondary domains, they're all going to go to your website when they're typed in. This also means that there's no risk to your actual website to either get flagged, go down, and your actual emails that you send day to day to clients, you send proposals, stuff like that, they will never go to spam, which is very important. I've seen a lot of people lose a lot of money because they started using their actual email address for cold emails, and then when they send something really, really important, it goes to spam, and then the client never sees it, and then they miss out on a big opportunity. So make sure that that doesn't happen to you and that you set up secondary domains. Now, a good rule of thumb is if you want to have, for example, 100 email accounts, you have to have half of those in domains. So each domain is able to handle a maximum of 2 email accounts that are each sending about 25 emails per day. So around 50 emails per day for each domain. Now, what we recommend is having a mix of Google accounts and Microsoft accounts. Those are the main 2 email service providers that are working very well. They do go up and down sometimes in deliverability, but that's why you want to have a mix of both to make sure that you have a diversified setup. Now, you're not just going to go to actually Google or Microsoft to buy these, because those are going to cost you $7.20 per account. Plus, they take a lot of technical setup to do, so you'll probably have to hire someone or spend 10, 20 hours to set up all these accounts if you wanted to do it yourself. So what you're going to do is go to a reseller. Now, obviously, I'll link the ones that I recommend and the ones that we use. Feel free to use any other ones they use. I don't have any affiliation to any of them. Just make sure that it's a reputable reseller and that they actually have good customer service, good deliverability, and all that stuff. Now, the next part, once you actually have all those email accounts purchased, and you need to start actually like warming them up, right? It's a very popular term. You do a 2-week warm-up period. Don't listen to anyone who says you don't need warm-up, that you can do a 1-week warm-up, a 0-day warm-up. Just do 2-week warm-up to make sure that your email accounts are fully ready for email sending. Now, once you do get through that, make sure that you don't just go straight to 25 emails per day per account, because that's going to burn them right away. What you want to do is you want to do another scale-up period, which is another 2 weeks where you go from 5 emails per day per account on the first sending day all the way to that 25 email per day mark. So you're going to take basically a whole month. That's your time to make sure that deliverability is good. You run an inbox placement test. You run all these tests that make sure that your email deliverability is good. And that's when you can start sending 25 emails per day per account consistently without worrying about spam filters. Now, in terms of actually connecting the email accounts to a sending platform, there's a lot of popular ones, but which one I recommend and the one that we use is Email Bison. Now, the difference between Email Bison and, for example, Smart Lead or Instantly is all of their emails have a private dedicated server, meaning you are the only one that server. With other email service providers, there's public servers, right? And what that basically means is you're sharing the reputation of other people. And obviously, most people, more than not, they don't exactly know how to do a cold email. They have lower spam scores. And overall, it's just a much, I guess, more messy process. Whereas on Email Bison, it's your server. That's it. You rotate it every 2 to 3 months, and you always have good deliverability. Now, from my personal experience, I was using Smart Lead before, probably like before the new year, and now I transitioned to Email Bison a few months ago. And from going from Smart Lead, where I used to have like 70% deliverability, maybe 75, and there was literally nothing else I can do with it, I switched to Email Bison, some of my accounts, I ran a test, and right away, literally like over a few days, our deliverability went up to like 85 and then eventually to like 90, 95%. So there is a difference. We didn't change anything else, all the same email scripts, lead lists, everything like that. So obviously I'm not biased towards any one of those companies, but I just go to what's working best for me. And for now, that is Email Bison. Now, in terms of best practices, there's just things that you should never do is like an unwritten rule, but I have some on my screen right here. So I'll read them out to you because make sure that if you do these, your deliverability is going to go down, right? So this should be your number one goal. It's super easy. It's not like it's complex things, but you just want to make sure that you always have these done. So no more than 100 words per email, right? So you don't want to have heavy emails, plain text emails only, no HTML, no like fancy, signatures, no fancy headings or anything like that. Just keep it like it's a normal email that you're writing to a friend. And then lastly, no links at all whatsoever in your email, right? So obviously if you're sending like a link to like someone that you already know, you have conversations with, the email service providers, they think that's completely normal. But if you're sending thousands of emails with thousands of links, it's obviously going to raise some red flags. So you definitely don't want to be doing that. You want to make sure that you have lightweight emails, meaning it's just words, no spam words. There's nothing to flag, right? And that's really what you want to have. And also one thing that I didn't mention here is having spin tags. Now, if you don't know what spin tags is basically slight variations within your email copywriting that make the email a little bit different each and every time so that you're never sending the same exact email, right? You can kind of understand where the email service providers are able to detect that. And if they see that you're sending the same exact message 100 times a day, 1,000 times a day, they're going to understand what's going on and they're going to mark your emails and your domains as spam, and you're kind of cooked there. So make sure that you don't do that. And then lastly, there's one single deliverability rule that will always work. And there's a reason it's called the spam filter. If you spam, right, which is what a lot of people do when they try cold email, if they just spray and pray, they send a lot of boring generic emails to irrelevant people, you're going to get caught by the spam filter because you are spamming, right? So that's just kind of how it works. That's what it's there for. So what you really want to have is just send quality emails to quality people, right? Make sure that each email is relevant, right? Obviously, there's going to be a certain percentage of people that shouldn't have been on a lead list and stuff like that. So obviously, there is some kind of room for error, but make sure that like 90% of your leads are directly within your ICP and have a relevant message, right? So that's simple. If you don't want to be in the spam folder, just don't spam. It's kind of self-explanatory, but a lot of people, they try to go around it for some reason where like they'll do like the extra mile to try and not go into the spam filter. Whereas if they put the same amount of effort into building an actual relevant campaign, they would get 10 times the results, right? I see it so much. So the bottom line is if you don't want to be going into the spam filter, just stop spamming and that's it. It's that simple. Now it's worth mentioning, even if you have the best possible email infrastructure set up, so you have a bulletproof 100% guaranteed deliverability rate, it's worth absolutely nothing if you don't have proper lead lists, email scripts, AI personalization, and also lead management, right? That's really what brings the whole system together and actually makes it profitable. You need to have all parts of the system working for even a single lead. So luckily for you, I made a 6-hour video course that goes over every single aspect of cold email that you can learn, you can watch for free. It's going to be the first link in the description, wap.com/free outbound secrets. and you could check it out there. Now, also, if you don't want to go through all that trials and errors and have to spend all your hours implementing it, and you just want someone to do it for you, my team at Infinite Bookings can help. Now, we run outbound marketing for over 100 different companies in the past 2 years. Last year in 2024, our clients closed over 150 verified high ticket paying clients from this system alone, right? So literally every single other day, someone was closing a client, which is kind of nuts if you think about it. So book a call in the description if you want to talk about how we can help you. Some of the companies that clients closed was BMW, or at least like gotten on the call, which is already huge. BMW, Jaguar Land Rover, Jets.com, the Academy Awards. So we know what we're doing. If you want to learn more, get on a call with us and we'll tell you how it works. So that's that. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe, leave a like, comment, whatever like that. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.